What's going on, everyone? Alliance Work here, and welcome back to another video. And in this video, we are actually going to be doing something a little more fun for you guys, and that is showing you every single mount that is super duper easy to get in the game. So if you are a diehard mount collector like me and you have like over 800 mounts, this video will probably not help you in any way, shape, or form. However, if you're someone who has a relatively low mount count and you want to push those numbers up to get the mount achievement for Anurelos Shadow's Guidance, which is the purple bird that you see some people on, I'll probably show it at some point in the video. Then this video will definitely help you get those numbers up, because I tallied everything up and there's well over 200 mounts that you can get next to no effort. And I'll be showing you each and every one of them in expansion order. So with that being said, if you guys enjoy the content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because we are getting very close to 2,000 subscribers and I would love to hit that mark. But let's go ahead and get started. And you're probably wondering why we're on the login screen. That is because the first batch of mounts literally comes here. So for those that do not know, every single one of the standard non-allied races has racial mounts. Now, normally for mounts like that, you would have to go to a vendor, buy them for rep. But what a lot of people probably don't know is if you were to make an undead, level them up to like 10, I think is the level you need to be, then you can just buy all the undead mounts outright. Level up a Tauren to level 10, buy all the Tauren mounts outright. I think you could do the class trial as well, but I think there's like some certain stipulations on that one. But literally just a character to level 10, and the drop through one you literally get into starting zone. But yeah, that'll literally land you over 50 mounts just in these races alone, which is crazy because that's literally the albino Drake right there. And of course, the allied races each contribute a +1 as well. So with that being said, there is literally just right from the jump, you have all of these mounts just from making a character. So let's log in and let's actually get started with, we'll start with the professions and auction house, because those ones, there are some very easy ones to get from that one. There will be 5 profession mounts in particular we will be talking about, and 1, maybe 2 auction house mounts if you need those as well. So let me just mount up on a Brutosaur in this tiny little necropolis. And we will click miscellaneous, click mounts, filter to show uncollected only. Oh, my bad. Just toggle. Oh my gosh. Kill the filter, kill the filter. Okay, there we go. So as you see, the mounts in question are Garn Nighthowl. I will showcase that one later on. Do not buy it. It is absolutely free to get. Colfist Gronling, very cheap, very easy to get. Some people, if they have one in their banks, they'll literally just give it to you. These mounts are not rare. And, you know, let's just showcase it. Yeah, this mount is not rare in any way, shape, or form. Like, if someone has it, they could very easily just give it to you for free. It's super, super free. Reigns of Poseidon is only 4,300. If you guys are seeing that, go and swipe that thing, because I get it, it's only an aquatic mount, but Reigns of Poseidon is stupid rare. The flying machine, of course, as well, is also a very cheap mount to buy. And are you serious? There's no turbocharged flying machine or the tailoring rugs on here? That's crazy. So the other 2 mounts I was going to mention is the flying carpet, magnificent carpet, and the turbocharged flying machine. They're not on the auction house at all. But like I said, a flying machine, very simple mount to buy, easy accomplishment. And then the last mount I want to talk about for professions is actually going to be the fossilized raptor. This mount comes from the fossil category in archaeology, and unlike its brethren, the ultramarine battle tank, this one is really, really, really rare. Or not rare, really, really, really common. You can get this mount very, very easily, and it doesn't even look that bad either. So yeah, very simple mounts to get, but let's hop into the classic mounts now. All right, and our first and only stop in the classic expansion is Anchorage 40. So let me just turn auto loot off real quick. You'll understand why in a second. So in Anchorage, you can get 4 mounts. Now I'm just going to showcase what pulling these 5 mobs will do. Kerpow. Oh wow. Okay, Anchorage making me look like a fool. Okay, let's try these 5. Surely these 5 will have one of them. So, in Anchorage, when you kill the trash in the dungeon, did they finally change it to where they don't just spam drop? Okay, well, we'll just do it like this. So in Anchorage, you can get the blue, green, red, and yellow Karaji battle tanks. These mounts are only usable inside of this raid, unfortunately, with the red being the rarest one to get and even rewarding a feat of strength for. And they literally drop off of any of the trash in the raid. Any of the trash will drop it. These 4 are so easy to get, and there have been times, like I said, I don't know if Blizzard finally fixed it to where they just stop dropping multiples, but there are times you pull a giant pack of mobs and you'll get like 7 mounts, 3 blues, 2 yellows, 5 greens, a red. These mounts are so easy to get. And before I do my next cutaway, I want to include something I wanted to include at the start, and that is because, we're talking about easy to get mounts. Now, brief disclaimer before we go any further in this video. If you do not have the financial ability to do this, then please do not. But if you do have the financial ability to do so, of course, you can always buy Blizzard store mounts. Each mount is usually $25 or so, give or take, and there is a substantial amount of them. Now, like I said, I do not condone putting yourself in financial debt. If you do not have the ability to get these mounts, then please do not. Put your real life first. But if you have the financial ability to, because I know everyone's financial situations are different, then you can 100% shoot your numbers way through the roof with these mounts. But anywho, like I said, I just wanted to include that onto the Burning Crusade. All right, in Burning Crusade, we have one and only one spot to be for the Burning Crusade for easy to get mounts, and that is Grunda Bronzewing for Alliance, and whoever the Wind Rider vendor is for the Horde and Thralamar. Essentially, these vendors will give you access to the OG Griffins and Wind Riders for the Alliance and Horde. As you can see, very cheaply priced, and nothing else is required to buy them. So very, very easy mounts to get. Moving on to Wrath of the Lich King, where we will actually see more than just what we've been seeing so far. Also, before I want to give an honorable shout out to the Swift White Hawkstrider. It has a decent drop rate, but it's not 100%, so I'm not counting it. Anywho, and for our first stop in Wrath of the Lich King, we have the renowned mount seller May Francis. She also has the Griffins from Burning Crusade / Wind Riders. However, she does have one exclusive one that they don't have, and that is the Armored Snowy Griffin. This one is exclusive to Wrath, as is the reins of the brown armored bear, the woolly mammoth, and the traveler's tundra mammoth. All of these mounts can be bought here, with the tundra mammoth being very popular as this was the first time a vendor mount was introduced to the game. All right, and our next stop is going to be for the famous Black and Twilight Drake. The Black and Twilight Drake are renowned for being incredibly easy to get mounts because they have been this way since Wrath of the Lich King. All you have to do is come to the Obsidian Sanctum raid, located right here in Dragonblight. Enter the raid, and I'll literally just show this because it's literally that easy. Once you're in the raid, you run up to Satharian and Icelands. Done. Congratulations, you got the mount. Come back here on the other difficulty, do that one more time, and you got the other mount. The Black Drake drops on 10-player difficulty. The Twilight one drops on 25-player difficulty. Of course, you will have to do away with the mobs who storm the area at the end of the fight, but aside from that, I need to put auto loot on. I'll do that in next cut. But aside from that, that's literally all you do. Open the chest, and voila. Reigns of the Black Drake is literally right there. As is a 22-slot bag if you need it. Alright, and this is going to be one of the only instances of us showcasing a glory achievement in this video. Because there's a reason no one is ever doing a glory run for Icecrown. It is because it is that damn easy. So, for those that don't know, doing the glory of the Icecrown Raider on 10 and 25 player will give you the Icebound Frostbrood Vanquisher, as well as the Blood-Bathed Frostbrood Vanquisher. During Wrath, this was the only way you could get a Skeletal Drake, as every other one was a Gladiator mount, aka no longer in the game. So essentially the achievements here, all you need is a monk. Then you can do it on 25 Heroic and get your Invincible chance too. But just come in here on Heroic, kill boss, 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 kill boss. For the second boss, AFK for like 5 minutes, then kill her single target. And Lich King, I have a whole video going over how to do his achievement on 25 Heroic, so you can still get Invincible as well. The only thing that you would have to do is come back here a second time for Once Bitten, Twice Shy off the Vampire boss. Aside from that, this whole glory and the 2 drakes associated with it can be done that easily. It's literally that easy. But we still have one more Wrath mount to cover, and if you guys know anything about Wrath, you already know exactly which one it is. Alright, and we have the final stop for Wrath, and that is the Bronze Drake from the Culling of Stratholme. You can find the dungeon right here in the Caverns of Time. And essentially this one, before you reach Mal'Ganis at the end, you just go straight instead of turning right with Arthas. And you will find an infinite dragonflight there trying to corrupt the Bronze Drake. You have like 30 minutes to get to him. If you cannot get to this Bronze Drake mount in 30 minutes, that's a you problem, buddy, because you actually have to, even when this was current, you'd have to try to fail this. Like, 30 minutes is a lot of time for a mount. But that wraps up the Wrath portion of this video, so let us move on to the Cataclysm. Alright, and our first mount in the Cataclysm expansion is going to be the Vashir Seahorse. So, something about this mount, it's the only mount in the game that still retains character-specific learning. Meaning, you have to learn this on every character. It's weird, but it's the only mount that follows this rule. But you can find this mount by going to your faction's major city, clicking on the portal to take you to Vashir, or going to the Hero's Call board and starting up the campaign quest line there. But it's like 10 minutes into the campaign and you will have this mount. only usable in Vashir, gives you like 450% swim speed, so it's actually pretty fast for moving around, but no one likes Vashir, so only reason I'm including it is because it's an easy to get mount. Alright, and the final mount we're going to be talking about is the bear from Zul'Aman, the Amani Battle Bear. This is not the Zul'Aman zone from Midnight, but rather the raid, or not raid, dungeon from Ghostlands. So the reason I'm in Shatrath is because I actually want to show you guys this, because I feel like not a lot of people know this. Right now, at the time of making this video, Zydormi is nowhere to be seen in Eversong. So no one really knows how to access the Silver Moon of old. But what I'm here to show you is if you come to this portal located in Shatrath that says Shatrath Portal to the Isle of Quel'Danis, you will actually be taken back to the Magister's Terrace of old. Can't promise you'll really find anyone here, but here you can access the old Magister's Terrace dungeon for the Swiftwhite Hawkstrider that was previously mentioned in the video. And then you could probably just huff it with skywriting. I'm going to be so honest. Oh my god, someone else is out here. Wow. But then you can just fly to Zul'Aman Ghostlands, and you can reach the dungeon from there. Once you are in the dungeon, though, you have to free the prisoners located at each and every boss encounter. There will be prisoners that you free, I think, before and during the boss encounter. And then, God, Kata was so long ago. Then I think it's once you kill Halazi, because you got to kill Akilzan, Nalarak, Jelani, and Halazi. Once you kill all of them and free the prisoners into respective areas, the one in Halazi's area will give you the mount after a bunch of running around. Because she'll start breaking vases and sorry about that. She'll start breaking vases and everything, and it'll be like gold to loot, and then there'll be a bag at the end. That bag is what is going to have your Amani Battle Bear in it. It is very easy to do, and is just like the Bronze Streak. If you can't complete this in the amount of time given, that's a you problem, because you give, I think this one gives you like 15 minutes to do it, and with each prisoner you free, it gives you more and more time. So like I said, if you can't do this first try, it's a you problem. But anywho, with that being said, we now advance to the fourth expansion of the franchise, Mists of Pandaria. And Mists actually has a lot of stuff to talk about. Alright, and our first stop in Pandaria is Uncle Big Pocket. He is the Grummel that will sell you the reins of the blonde riding yak, the reins of the gray riding yak, and the reins of the Grand Expedition yak. This Expedition yak is probably one of the most used mounts in the game by like everyone in the community. It is a giant yak that has a Mog vendor and a transmogger and a regular vendor on it. So this mount is definitely a big deal for a lot of people. However, it does cost 120 grand, so keep that in mind. And our next four mounts, 5 if you're lucky, come from the Isle of Giants. So the Isle of Giants is home to the world boss Undasta, who you can, just take down, see if you can get lucky with the mount that he drops. But the item we're interested in here is the giant dinosaur bone. So the giant dinosaur bone can be bought off of the auction house for 1 gold a piece right now. That's how much they're worth. So you would only need to spend 9,999 gold to get the, let's just pull it up real quick, Bone White Primal Raptor. This mount requires 9,999 bones, and I will show you where to get it once you have those bones. But while we're heading there, we want to also talk about the other 3 mounts that come from here: the black primal raptor, the green primal raptor, which for gnomes who want to look like Mario, fun fact, I have a video on that too, you can have this as your Yoshi. And of course, the red primal raptor. So while you're out here killing the dinosaurs, there is a chance that they will drop eggs. Every single egg is guaranteed to contain a mount. There it is. But those eggs do take 3 days to hatch. So essentially, you will have to wait 3 days of real life time for each egg to hatch into a mount, meaning using your alts, it could take you 3 days, but doing it on 1 tune each will take you over a week. But essentially, you want to come into this cave right here when you have your 9,999 bones, and you want to talk to Kuma. When you talk to him, you want to do a mountain of giant dinosaur bones. And completing this will give you the mount and a feat of strength as well. Okay, and the final mount we will be going over in Pandaria is the Disc of the Red Flying Cloud. For this one, you want to come to Tan Shin Tiao, and she will be selling it for 900 gold. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, but it's behind a rep. You got to be exalted for that. That is true. However, the Lore Walker's rep is different than any other rep you've done. All you have to do is fly around Pandaria, interact with scrolls in different locations, and then you'll be done in like 30 minutes. If you guys want a video on that, let me know. I'll be more than happy to make it for you. But I'll only really make that video if enough interest is shown, as this rep is dated and you can just buy the rep with time walking badges if you have the time walking badges to spare. But with that being said, we advance on to Draenor. Okay, and my mage does not have a level 3 garrison, so I had to hop over to my old main. So for Warlords of Draenor, if you have a level 3 garrison, you can talk to a trader in your class hall, and they will have the Witherhide Cliff Stomper and the Rock Tusk Battle Boar for 20k and 10k respectively. Incredibly easy mounts to get. They also have a spotlight and a pet as well. So yeah, 2 easy mounts to get from there. Also, this is where you have the naval table where the Coalfist Grondling comes from if you want to do it yourself. Speaking of, I'm just curious. I just want to see if it's up. It is not. Yeah, it's not up. One could hope. Anywho, while we're also in the garrison, though, I want to give 2 honorable mentions as well. The first one being to garrison invasions. While the mounts aren't guaranteed, I feel they have a relatively decent drop rate. Plus, doing these is actually pretty fun. Not even going to lie on that one. Also, just curious. I have the black market NPC in my garrison. The other honorable mention I want to give is to the stables. So if you have the stables ranked 3 and you max out the work, because it's a daily grind for all the trained mounts, you will get each trained mount as well as 2 other mounts. The Armored Frost Wolf and the Armored Frost Boar for completing the achievements for this. Let me see if I can pull them up. Yeah, so these are from the Stable Master in Advanced Husbandry. But as for the 6 trained mounts you would get, you can literally see them all right here. The Young Snarler, the Young Silverpelt, the Young River Wallow, the Young Icehoof, the Young Rock Tusk, and the Young Meadow Stomper. So yeah, like I said, that grind takes about a week to do, so it's not as instant as everything else we've covered in this video so far, but they are still easy to get. All right, and the last mounts I want to include in this video, I know some of them might not always be up, but at the same time, these zones don't get as much traffic as they used to, except for people hunting for the void portals, and that is the zone rares of Draenor. So Swift Breeze Strider in particular, because I know that Pathrunner is usually always up in Chromie time with War Mode on. So if you want this mount, you could probably pull up a low server Chromie time with War Mode on, and you will probably find Pathrunner at one of his spawns. But there are still several other mounts you could potentially find as well. I don't know the exact respawn timer of each one except for Pound Fist, which is the Sunhide Grondling mount. And let's just face it, that one's a really long timer, but yeah, if you're lucky enough to encounter one of the zone rares in Draenor, it is a guaranteed mount. And like I said, these mounts have they're much less popular than Time Lost or Anax, but I think that's also because a lot of them, or all of them rather, can't fly. So because they can't fly, a lot of people have no interest in them. But if you're in the area and you see them, this whole expansion's kind of really been about honorable mentions beyond the 2 vendor mounts. But like I said, I always see Pathrunner up in Chromie time with War Mode on when I was farming the Void Talon. So I just wanted to give that a little scratch for you guys, just because. Anywho, it's time for my favorite expansion, Legion. Alright, and our first Legion mount we will be covering is the Bleakhoof Ruin Strider. This mount comes from the achievement and Chew Mana Buns, which requires you to defeat 5,000 non-elite demons. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. What the hell? 5,000? That's going to take forever. It will take a little bit of time, yes, but the best way of farming those non-elite demons is in this cave right here. The Imp Mothers spawn a bunch of imps. So you could just keep the Imp Mother alive, AoE down the imps that just keep spawning endlessly. And I think it should take probably 3-4 hours-ish, give or take. It takes a little bit of work, but it is definitely easy to get mount by every mean of the word. You just got to kind of sweat just a little bit for it, which I decided to include it because it's still an easy mount to get, Alright, and the last Legion mount we will be showcasing here is the Smoldering Emberworm, located in the Return to Karazhan dungeon, located on the side of Karazhan right here, not the main entrance, the side. This mount has a 20% drop rate. Now I know what you're thinking, that's not 100%, but stay with me for a second. 20% plus 20% for anyone else who comes with you, and it will not drop for anyone who already has the mount. So if you bring just 2 friends who already have the mount, that is a whopping 60% chance that this thing is going to drop for you. Very easy to get, and I already have a video going over how to get this mount on my channel already. So with that being said, we have now completed Legion. Let us move on to the Battle for Azeroth. Alright, and in BFA we have, I do believe, only 2 mounts to cover, and one is the Harbor Griffin. Now there is the Horde equivalent of this mount, and essentially you just have to go up to the Flight Master, and the quest will literally be called Time to Fly. Completing this quest will give you this mount. That's literally it. That is literally it. There's really nothing else to it beyond that. Alright, and so there were 2 more mounts, my bad. The first one is the Aerial Unit mount from Hard Mode King Mechagon. This mount comes from the Mechagon dungeon, and you may want a second person for the HK8 Aerial Oppression unit, but aside from that, hard mode Mechagon is complete and utter joke. I do believe that this mount follows the same rules as the Smoldering Drake, as in it is a 20% drop rate increase per person, or it's guaranteed. I can't remember which. I got it on my own through some dumb luck, but this mount is basically guaranteed if you do hard mode King Mechagon. Very easy to get mount, though it is pretty wanky and wobbly when it flies. But yeah, and no cut needed, because the next mount we're going to talk about is made from tinkering by Pascal King. This mount is given to you after doing a fair bit of questing to open up stuff in Mechagon, and it will basically require you to craft the let me find it real quick. What's the freaking thing called again? X-9. The X-9995 Mechanocat. So, something I want to mention about this mount real quick is it is one of the few mounts that are customizable. Allow me to show you. So in Mechagon, you can get things to customize this mount. It's just something extra. And when you get the achievement, you can make your Mechano mount look like this. Keep in mind, there are so many customization options, but I just wanted to show what the achievement reward looked like. The Battletron Blue. And yeah, now my Mechanocat will look like that until I want to change it. And these customizations are account wide. So, all the more reason to get this mount, as this was the first introduction of customizable mounts. Anywho, on to the Shadowlands. This will be fun. Okay, so we're going to do this part just absolutely rapid fire, because there's a lot of mounts tied to Renown. These ones are tied to Renown level that I am going to be saying. So for the Kyrian, we have the Elysian Aquilin. This is given at Renown 60. Then we have the Eternal Phalanx of Purity. I think this one is given at 40, if I remember right. And then we have the Phalanx of Purity, which I believe this one is given at 20? Question mark? But essentially these three are tied to Renown level. Now for Maldraxxus. Bear with me, this is a lot to take in. So for the Maldraxxus, we have the Plague Rot Tyralis. Again, this one is a Renown mount. And then we have the Maldraxxian Corpsefly, which comes from Renown 60. I think there's another one, but I'm not. Oh yeah, the Tyralis. The Warbred Tyralis and the Armored Warbred Tyralis. I do believe our mounts fairly early into the Maldraxxus campaign. Very, very easy mounts to get. And like I said, this part has me a little overwhelmed, so by all means, just please bear with me a little bit. Moving on to the Venthyr, we have the, I don't know if this is one of them. I said, just please bear with me. Yeah, the Sinfall Gargon, which is, I believe, Renown 20. The Sinfall Gravewing, which is your flying Renown mount. And then you have the Gravestone Battle Gargon, which is at Renown 40. And then we have Ardenweld, which is the I'm so glad I have a list pulled up for this, because I would not be able to do this otherwise. We have the God, they put too many mounts in Shadowlands. The Shadeleaf Runestag from Renown 20. The Enchanted Shadeleaf Runestag from Renown 40. And the Ardenweld Wildering from Renown 60. Okay, that was a lot to take in, but we got through it. Moving on to what's next. Actually, forgetting about moving on to what's next, we have the Reclaiming Gilneas quest line. So, let me see if I can find it, make sure I got this right. So I know that completing this quest will give you access to the Gilnean Prowler mount, which is very easy to get. The quest line does not take long to do at all. I almost forgot that. Like I said, Shadow Realms has me a bit overwhelmed, so please just bear with me. There's a lot on this list. All right, and our next mount in this video comes from the achievement Fake It Till You Make It. Let me just pull up the mount real quick for you. And that rewards the Tazavesh Gear Glider mount. This mount is guaranteed from the achievement. I already have a video going over how to do it. It is no longer part of the Keystone season, so you can solo it, because I know a lot of people have been asking, why is this max level? Why is this max level? You can solo it now. So you can get this mount. Very easy to do. Just takes a few minutes. All right, and now we have everyone's favorite zone, Torghast. I hear you all deep sighing like, oh, not this. Yep, it's this. So the mounts we have for Torghast is the Mossworn Charger from the achievement Flawless Master, the Corridor Creeper, which comes from the Twisting Corridors at layer 8. You can find the Twisting Corridors right here. Just disregard the item level requirement. This is scaled to Shadowlands times. Let me just pull that back up. You have the Colossal Umbrahide Mallrat, which, while is not guaranteed, can drop while you're farming for the Mossworn Charger. So you can kind of get a 2-for-1er. And it can be spam farmed until it drops. Any layer 13 or higher. Then you have the Colossal Soul Shredder Mallrat from Flawless Master layer 16. And then, of course, the Colossal Ebon Claw Mallrat from the Jailer's Gauntlet at level 4. Oh, this is Jailer's Gauntlet, my bad. So, level 4 Jailer's Gauntlet will give you the Mallrat right here. And then one over is the Twisting Corridors. That one's on me. But the Tower Master achievement is actually fairly easy to do. If you guys want me to make videos covering the achievements, let me know. I'll be more than happy to cover it. Anywho, we're moving on to... Perfect. All right, and in Ardenweld, the first mount we're going to cover is the very popular Wild Seed Cradle mount. This mount comes from the Treasure Cache of the Moon, and if I'm remembering right, you start it by talking to Twinklestar. A lot of the process is very easy and fast to do. I unfortunately do not have a video on this. I might make one, but this mount's incredibly easy and quick to get. But with that being said, we have more Ardenweld mounts to cover, such as... And our next area, we're going to be talking about 3 mounts. The Shimmer Mist Runner, the Spineclaw Glade Chewer, and the Aberrel Gulper, because they're all kind of in this congested area. Starting first with the Shimmer Mist Runner. To get this mount, you have to navigate through a thick, misty maze and get over to where this area is. Now I'm going to fly over there to show you. You'll see a Spriggan just kind of like harassing a unicorn. When you are able to actually kill that Spriggan, you will get the mount. You're going to see him, but he's going to disappear as soon as I get over there. Oh, or not. But essentially you want to get right here through the mist maze, and you will be able to see them. The next mount on our list that we're going to talk about is the bug. The Glade Chewer. For this one, you just want to go around and just kill the Spriggans until Gorm Tamer Tyzo spawns. If I'm correct, he will do a little like yell to declare himself here. But once he spawns, just simply kill him and you will have his mount. Let me just show what they are real quick. Sorry, the Shadowlands area has me completely overwhelmed right now. I didn't expect it to be this bad. But yeah, this is the Gulper and the Glade Chewer and the Runner. Now, for the Gulper, and I'm hoping I can find one of the items for him, you will have to loot an item called the Unusually Large Mushroom, I think. Yes, the Unusually Large Mushroom. Once you find the Unusually Large Mushroom, you have to fly to this location. Keep in mind, having the mushroom, you will have only 20 minutes to do this. You want to fly to about right here above the D in Dream Song. And you will find something called Damp Loam to interact with. I think it's like, it's right here, the Damp Loam. Once you see that, you then just interact with it, and the mob Humongous is going to spawn. Killing Humongous will give you the Aberrel Gulper, which is the frog. And this frog's actually pretty cool looking too, despite how easy it is to get. Alright, anywho, on to Maldraxxus now. And the next mount we're going to be covering is the Slime Serpent. This mount comes from the Plaguefall dungeon on heroic or mythic difficulty, and you have to kill Margrave Stradama, and once you have killed her, come out of her room and simply come over here. When you come over here, there will be a slime serpent just chilling in the pool. You just interact with it and you have the mount. Easy as that. Alright, good news everyone, we have made it through the Shadowlands expansions. I might have missed a mount or two, I apologize. But when an expansion has 158 mounts in it, not counting the keystone mounts I've missed, that's just too much. Anywho, we're in Dragonflight now, and the very first batch of mounts we're going to be talking about is the Highland Drake, the Renewed Proto Drake, the Windborn Velosa Drake, the Cliffside Wilder Drake, the Winding Slither Drake, and the Flourishing Whimsy Drake. Excuse me. These mounts are all quest rewards from the campaign quests in each zone. So the Highland Drake comes from the Azure Span, the Renewed Proto Drake comes from the Waking Shore, the Velosa Drake comes from the Onara Plains, the Wilder Drake comes from Veldrassus, the Winding Slither Drake comes from Zarlet Caverns, and the Flourishing Whimsy Drake comes from the Emerald Dream. Just simply questing into each zone will give you each mount as a reward. And keep in mind, all these mounts have customization options, such as the following unique skins that you are seeing here. And I still want this one, by the way. I'm still trying to get this one. Anywho, on to the next one. And the next mount we're going to be covering is the magma shell mount. This mount comes from the Waking Shore, and it does require you to have a empty magma shell item. You can find these on the auction house for about 1,500 gold apiece. Once you have that, you will probably need to get a healer to spot you, or as you saw when I first pulled up here, the everlasting horn of lava swimming. This horn will make you immune to the fire damage in the Waking Shores. So you can swim down here, channel on this snail, and once you're done channeling, you will have the magma shell mount. Guaranteed. All right, and the next mount we're going to be talking about, it comes from the rare Zenit Avis. Zenit Avis can be found in the Onara Plains, right here to the west of Tiraki, and killing Zenit Avis will guarantee drop an egg. In 7 days, that egg will hatch into a mount that looks exactly like Zenit Avis. So the next mount we're going to be talking about is the Temperamental Skyclaw in the Azure Span. You can find a Temperamental Skyclaw at the Three Falls Lookout. And in order to get this mount, you are going to need, if I can spell, you want to flash frozen meat. You want 20 of these. Then you want 20 of the Nolan's House Special. And lastly, you want 20 Tuskar Jerky. Having 20 of each of these items will allow you to pick up a quest from Zanwagi, which will give you the Temperamental Skyclaw. It is that easy. And in Iskara, if you come to Tatukiaka, you can buy the Iskara's Trader Autuk and the Ivory's Trader Autuk by bringing Tatukiaka, however you say his name, a thunderous downburst ring from the Onara Plains dungeon, the unstable arcane loop from the Algathar Academy, and the platinum starband. Actually, the arcane loop is from the Azure Vaults, and the platinum starband is from Algathar Academy. But item level and the quality of the ring does not matter as long as they have those names. You can get the Ivory's Trader Otuk. Now for the Ivory's Traders, or for the Iskara's Trader Otuk, you will need Teros's Captive Core and Eye of the Vengeful Hurricane. These two necklaces drop from the raid bosses in Vault of the Incarnates, Teros, and Dathia Ascended. The item level and quality of the necklaces do not matter. You can get one on Raid Finder, one on Mythic, and he will still take them. Two very easy to get mounts, and they're both kind of cute if you ask me, especially the Iskara one. I like it. I know. And next up we have the vendor Mithressa, located in Valdraken, right here. And Mithressa sells the Stormhide Salamander mount for only 2,000 Elemental Overflow. If you guys know anything about Elemental Overflow, this stuff drops like candy. You can go to the Forbidden Reach and get this in like 10 minutes, max. It's not hard to get at all. I don't have this. You know what? Rod of the Raging Tempest. Added to Transmog. Anywho, one more mount to go and we will be at the War Within. And the last mount we're going to be talking about in Dragonflight is the Seething Slug mount. I've already done a video showcasing a lot and everything you need to know about this mount, but essentially you just want to come to Zarlet Cavern, wait for the emote saying that the temperature in the caverns rises substantially, and you will have to come to the Zakali Caldera, but make sure you have steady flight on or the Zakali will shoot you out of the sky. Very important, by the way. You want to gather, I think it's like 5 Shadow Flame orbs, and then you'll be able to loot a chest, and the mount will be yours. Surprisingly, not a lot of people are pushing for this mount, which is very surprising to me, because I actually do like him. But yeah, with that, we are now in midnight, and finally at the end of this video, ooh-wee. Alright, and the first mount we're going to talk about in the War Within is the Swarmite Glyph Hunter mount. This mount comes from finding all of the glyphs in all of the 4 main zones in the War Within. You can do it with steady flight or skywriting, whichever you prefer. I have a video for some of the zones, but I know I'm missing some of the other zones as well. But this mount probably takes you about an hour or so to get. Very easy to do. Alright, so this next one, we're going to just speed fire a whole truck ton of mounts, so just bear with me. Starting off with the Nyalothin Shadow Worm from Horrific Visions. The Void-Scarred Griffin, the Void-Scarred Stallion, the Void-Scarred Packmother, the Void-Scarred Wind Rider, and yeah, those are the 4 Void mounts. And then you have the Male Muncher and the Nesting Swarmite. Let me make sure I got them all. Oh yeah, and of course, how could I forget the Voidfire Death Cycle? So, oh, and the Black Serpent of N'Zoth. So the Nyalothin Shadow Worm comes from clearing divisions on 8 masks. The Black Serpent comes from 5 masks. So, with that being said, divisions are easier to do now that we're in the next expansion. All of the Void mounts I just listed, if you want them, I have videos covering each and every one of them on the channel. Same with the Swarmite. Male Muncher, you just loot the mailboxes in Division. If the rare spawns, you got them out. Very easy to do, and you can spam these very easily. Also, something a lot of people probably do not know is since the War Within is now over, you can specifically queue for whichever vision you want. So yeah, like I said, just kind of a rapid fire of vision mounts right there. And all right, so the next 3 mounts we're going to talk about are the next 3 Delver mounts that were on the list you saw earlier of dragon riding mounts. The Delver's Dirigible, the Delver's Gobtrotter, and the Delver's Mana Skimmer. Also, specifically, their transformation skins for Hyperdrive, Gold, and Void, as the Delve bosses themselves can be spammed on any difficulty, and they will always have a chance to drop these schematics. It's not guaranteed. And keep in mind, they have like no loot tables, so expect to see no loot. But I can confirm that in Midnight, these 3 do still drop. But if you want to buy the skins, or not the skins, the mount outright, please bear with me, guys. Like, the recording for this video is already over 2 hours long. I've never done a video this big. To buy the mounts, if you don't have them, you just want to come to Reno Jackson. I do not know how much they cost, as I got them when they were quest items. Alright, the next mount is the Violet Goblin Shredder mount. To get this mount, you just want to simply pull up your G99 Breakneck, and you want to click the 5 button Start Job. This will give you a list of jobs from Nanny Tallulah, and once you complete the 9th job, you will have a chance to get the mount. The odds for it dropping are fairly decent, and I haven't heard of many people having issues getting this mount. So yeah. And the final mount we're going to be showcasing for the War Within is the Acidic Void Creeper. To complete this mount, you just want to come to Shadanis, located on this island, and complete the weekly quest, More Than Just a Phase. Completing this quest will give you 7 of the untethered coins, which is exactly enough to purchase this mount. But hey, props on me. We made it to midnight. Let's wrap this video up. So the first mount of midnight we're going to talk about is the Relinquished Scarlet Charger. For this horse, in order to get it, all you have to do is complete the Erator campaign, which is War of Light and Shadow. Or no, Erator's Journey. What is War of Light and Shadow? Where'd that come from? Once you complete Erator's Journey, you will have that horse. Which, without cutting, I'm going to assume the War of Light and Shadow is the campaign that you would want to finish for the Emerald Hawkstrider and the Peridot Dragonhawk. Hold on, let me just show you guys what those ones are real quick. So this is the one, this is the Hawkstrider. And this is the Dragonhawk. Also, while I have the Dragonhawks pulled up, let's talk about the Crimson Dragonhawk, which is just like the Swarmite from the War Within, except this is the Midnight Glyphs. So, again, another very easy to get mount, and this one actually looks really good too. Like, just look at the definition on that thing. Gorgeous. Anywho, alright, and next up on our list is the Contained Stormarian Defender. This mount comes from the Victorious Stormarian Pinnacle Cache, and it's basically guaranteed. There's really no way to fail this mount, like, at all. Alright, and the next mount we're going to be talking about is the Insatiable Shredclaw. The Insatiable Shredclaw can be found in this cave right here. And essentially, you just navigate this electric maze. Also, you can't use spells or abilities in here, and you get to that egg. Doing so will give you the mount. Alright, and for Harindar, we have a few mounts to get. And the first one is going to be the Untainted Grove Crawler mount. This mount is so easy to get that it actually hurts. If you do not have this mount, what are you doing? Let's just pull it up for you. Wow, that's actually kind of sad. So I hope this video helps you all, because when you realize you don't have this mount, you're going to feel kind of silly. So all you do to get the Untainted Grove Crawler is you want to fly to this spot on the map. And you will see there is a fungal mallet right there. You want to grab the fungal mallet and come over to this gong, the Mycelium gong. You ring the gong, and that's it. That's literally it. No loopholes, no jumping through rings. Just hit the gong, and you're done. Alright, and two of the last 3 mounts we're going to be talking about in this video is the Void Corrupted Hex Eagle and the Witherbark Bear Mother. So both of these come from the Zolomon Ritual site, which is on a bi-weekly rotation with Eversong. You can find the Ritual site entrance right here. And the only thing you need really is basically meat. I have videos covering both of these mounts if you guys want more in-depth description, but they're both guaranteed with little to no effort. The final mount. Shoot, man, that's crazy. The final mount of this video that we are going to be talking about is the Ancestral Warbear. Which comes from this chest in Zul'Aman. All you have to do is go here, 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 and here in Zul'Aman. Kill the following NPCs, collect their items, and bring it back to this chest. If you want more details, again, I have a video going over this mount in more details. But yeah, that is every single easy to get mount in World of Warcraft up to Midnight Season 1. This video took over 2 hours as a mage to make. Imagine if I did this without a mage and the ability to teleport at will. This video would probably have taken like 3 to 4 hours. So if you guys found this video helpful, please hit that subscribe button because this was a huge video for me. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Love y'all. Peace.